I'm sitting here and they're seeing me, and so this should be like a testimony in itself that if you just decide to put one foot in front of the other, not knowing what direction that you're going to go, that it'll be okay. Like, come out of your house, have people see you more, have people hear you more, and also I think that it's important to do that because you never know who you're going to inspire by just being visible. Just being there and just being yourself. You don't have to do anything specific or say anything specific or be, I don't know, having all these things going on in your life. Just be there.
And welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace and Salame. Thank you so much for making time for us today. We truly appreciate. And with me today is someone I've been wanting to meet and have a conversation with for so long. Crystal.
Hey.
Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much.
I'm such a fan of not just your work, but who you are as a person. Thank you so much for just inspiring us with your story.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks a lot.
You're most welcome. So tell me, who is Crystal?
Crystal is just like any other girl.
What is she about? What does she love?
She loves lying in when she can. Yeah, on a
Don't
Sunday.
We all? Random Wednesday even.
Exactly. Vegetables, samosas, she enjoys as
really?
well.
You're one of the few people I know who enjoy veggie samosas.
Yeah, but I also love talking to people, telling stories, just being a sort of a positive vibe amongst everything else that's going on, the noise that's going on around. Yeah, that's who I am. That's who I've been cultivated to be by my family since I was young in Mombasa. So yeah, I am a sister to very many.
And regardless of what happens in life, like for you, your life changed drastically in your 20s.
Correct, yeah.
How do you still manage to maintain the positivity?
I think it's about a power that isn't actually my own. I recognize that I am just one ray from a massive sunshine, basically. Right. And so I try to carry that forward with me. And also staying positive, I feel like it helps me get through the sad times. And so it's sort of like my medicine, just the way it says in the Bible, in the good book. Yeah, it's like medicine to my soul.
It is.
Yeah, so, and also I feel like even before the visual impairment started to get worse when I was in my 20s, I was already the kind of person who like loved life, loved going out, loved like playing jokes on people, things like this, laughing. But then when I'm at home, I am very calm, which is a stark difference. People, when I'm at home, people wonder like, gosh, Crystal, when you're at home, you don't call anyone, you don't text. Yeah.
Why is that? Why the flip?
I think
do you feel exhausted and drawn out, so now it's time for you? It's
time for me, yeah, because I've learned in this journey of the visual impairment, etc., that you need to give time to yourself, so that you can, if I get my energy up, I can then pour it out to other people. But if I'm always like all over the place, bouncing around, not knowing who I am, where I'm going, etc., then it won't be like as intentional as it should be. We all have assignments. We've all been given assignments, and so I try to be very, very protective of my assignment and be like, okay, out there I'll be who everyone needs me to be, who I'm made to be. But when I'm alone, I just need to just sit down, calm down, meditate, pray, think about things, be reflective and stuff. So
I feel like there's so many follow-ups in that. Why you feel you need to be a certain way and what that assignment is. But before that, you mentioned the visual impairment. Take us back to when that started. When did you realize something is different with my eyesight?
It was in high school. I used to be the kind of person that likes to sit in the back, like I said, bubbly, messing around with friends and stuff. So I was that kid, and then at some point when I was 15, I started to realize that I wasn't able to see the blackboard properly. In drama class, I wasn't able to read my scripts properly. Poetry recitals as well, same thing. And then in sports, I loved sports as well, like hockey and basketball was my number one, swimming and stuff. I used to notice that I wasn't really seeing very well. But because I was a kid and because I kind of felt the pressure of like, oh, if I tell somebody, they'll laugh at me, like, oh, Crystal can't see, like, haha, you're going to have to wear glasses, macho ine, kind of thing.
So you didn't address it immediately?
I didn't, no. I actually did my best to hide it Like I would go to the next class, the first person to go into the next classroom of the bell rang, so I could choose my desk at the front, and nobody would be like, why are you like running, like not being able to see it? It's like, no, if I sit close to the front and by the window, I'll have no problem. Yeah, and I used to like memorize all my scripts as well before the class so that I wouldn't have to read from a piece of paper. So I used to have these mechanisms.
Clearly,
Yeah.
to work around
Correct.
the vision impairment.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think if you addressed it then, there would have been a difference?
No, because glaucoma doesn't have any cure even till today. Yeah, it just has treatments to kind of slow it down or manage it, but it has no
So
cure.
management-wise?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe if I did pay attention then, but then again, I've also learned not to go back and forth on maybes, or because that really messes with your mind. Yeah.
I know. But at what point did you discover indeed it was glaucoma?
So I went to university, and then in university I had like a normal eye checkup, which I usually do, and then that's when the optician told me like, well, Crystal, something is terribly wrong. You need to sort of stop everything that you're doing today and go to the eye hospital immediately. Because that was an optician. Opticians deal with the front of the eye, with glasses and stuff, lenses. But he was like, you need an ophthalmologist who looks at the back of the eye, because your pressures are 3 times as high as they need to be. It's supposed to be like 10 to 15. I was in the 40s at that time. And I didn't really notice, because like there's no symptoms to glaucoma. There's no like redness or pain or itching.
I was going to ask, there was no headache even, nothing?
It was that was all. So I had no idea about it. So when he told me, obviously I freaked out, and then I went to hospital. A few months later, after lots of tests, that's when they diagnosed me.
And this time you're how old?
That was when I was 20.
20.
Yeah.
So 20, for a doctor to tell you that you could be completely blind at some point. How was that moment like, hearing that?
It was completely unbelievable, first of all. I was just like, ha, ha, ha. What is he saying?
Really?
I just started uni. I'm living my life.
You're visioning, you're planning,
exactly.
You're excited about life.
Yes. So when he told me, I didn't really register it, because he told me, okay, by 2013, and that was like 20, maybe 2009 or something like that. He told me that I'll be completely blind. So I only had about 4 or 5 years left of my eyesight. And I was like, oh, haha, he doesn't know, my God.
Amen.
Kind of thing.
Right? I know.
So I left there, like, sort of like, okay, I'll just tell my parents what I heard, tell my family what I've been told, but, feel nothing about it.
Yeah. You didn't think it would happen at that moment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went on, and then obviously as the years went by, I was starting to notice it by myself, And that's when I was like, right, if I only have a few years left, let me just go crazy, let me just go and out all the time, let me just spiral. Like, I started hanging out with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, that kind of thing. And so in that journey is when I sort of crashed and then came to like a very low point.
What was your low point like?
The low point was when I was finished with uni, so no more distractions, no more like, studying or seeing friends or going for social events. I finished uni, and then I came back to Mombasa. I went back to Mombasa after university, and that's when it sort of hit me. I was like, right, Crystal, this is happening.
Reality sunk in.
Yeah. Now you're going to have to go into the real world, like everyone says after uni, the real world starts. Yeah. And I was like, how am I going to go into the real world? And I've just studied film and theatre. I've got this passion about music and performing and being on stage and creating content. And then I'm now having to face the reality that I'm going to lose like my eyesight, for all these visual arts that I'm so passionate about. Yeah.
How does that, in that moment, I guess what got you through that?
It was, I remember this evening when I was crying about it. In my parents' home in my old room. I was sitting up in bed, and it was raining, and I was crying and crying, and I was like asking these questions. Why is this happening to me? Like, what have I done wrong, God? Like, I've only lived 20 odd years. Surely, how many mistakes could I have made to be given such bad news? Had that argument with God, and then I went to sleep, and in that evening when I dreamt of me sitting cross-legged in front of this white light, and the white light couldn't see any face or any like structure or anything like that. But I remember this white light had hands, and it put he or she put their hands on my cheeks and said to me, "Be still." And then the dream ended. It felt really long, But when I say it back to myself, it's just super short. Like that's all that happened.
Like a split second.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I woke up and I felt like water had been poured into my soul, kind of just peaceful. And I was like, wow, that's never, like, what is that? What was that?
Yeah.
So I ran downstairs, I asked my mom, oh, what does be still mean? Do you know anything? What does that mean? Do you have any idea? So she's like, oh, there's something, you know, as all mothers do, like, let's look in the Bible. Yeah. So then she found Psalms, which says, be still and know that I'm God. Yeah.
As you wrap up this part, what's been different for you in that sense since then?
I've learned a lot. I've been able to work and understand way more about myself, because when you don't have your eyesight, which distracts you, because you know you're looking at things and you're comparing yourself to X, Y, and Z out in the world, etc. Then you have way more time to look inward, because you're not seeing what's out here. Number one. So I learned as well that, you know, don't look to your left or your right. Just look, like, focus forward. Because in glaucoma, what happens eventually, as it deteriorates the eyesight, you kind of move into a point of tunnel vision, where you can only see like a very small, like looking through a straw. And so that taught me exactly focus on one goal. Don't be all over the place, and don't be scared of what's on the right or the left. So lessons like that, lessons in compassion. I became way more empathetic with people because I learned how to listen more. I wasn't talking a lot. I had a time where I was, like I said, still, and I listened way more, and that's where I gained even more knowledge about like storytelling and empathizing, you know, compassion, lessons in materialism. You know, what's really important, Crystal, in life? What is it important to like have your nails done every single week, or is it important like who you talk to and what seeds you plant in people? Like what's more important?
I hope you heard that before you go on a break. You may say you're woke, but you're still asleep. We'll be right back with more from Crystal. With Crystal. Crystal, you mentioned earlier focus, tunnel vision. Don't look to the left or the right and just keep focusing. And with that, with you here, is something that also helps with that.
Yes.
You call her Faith?
Faith, yes.
Tell me that story.
So in this sort of time when I was starting to gain more confidence after that dream, I decided to create my own world, because now that I can't see what's out here, then why not just take the chance to create my own world, my own reality and stuff like that. So one thing that I had to like get over and get more confident in was using a white cane. At the beginning when I first got it, first of all, I didn't get it for years.
Really? Were you fighting?
Yeah, totally. Because I was like, no, but it'll mean that I've given up. It'll mean that I'm showing people that, you know, I've thrown in the towel or something. But guys around me, my friends and my family especially, they were like, no, it'll just help you to do more. Yeah, it'll help you to do more. So I finally bought her and I gave her a name.
You did?
I was like, if I'm going to use her every single day, then why not? I say that she's called Faith because my life mantra is walk by faith and not by sight.
Like literally?
Literally, yeah. So I never leave home without faith. Always in my bag, always in my hand, always beside me, yeah. And also it seems that it's helped other people with visual impairment since I've sort of been out here doing more about my journey. Yeah. People are like, oh, I should also name my white cane. I should name my glasses. I should name. And I'm like, yeah, give it a name. It's personal to you, because these are my eyes now. These are now my eyes.
I'm curious to know if you remember, what's the last thing you remember seeing?
The last thing I remember seeing was I was in hospital before my first surgery, before I tried to do my first surgery to correct. And there was this Spanish lady who was a nurse who was wheeling me to theater. And she was like sort of stroking my hair like, it's going to be okay, don't worry. Because I was really nervous and I was crying. And I was like, yeah, this is the first major surgery I've ever had. I'm generally healthy in my body, but this is the one thing. So she was stroking my hair, telling me it's okay. Then she was like, do you believe in God? And I was like, do I? Of course. Yeah. So she did a little prayer for me, and then I went to sleep, and that was the last thing I remember seeing her face. And
so you forever remember her, huh?
Yeah.
And what's the one thing you miss gazing at or looking at?
I really miss reading books. I really miss being able to pick up a book and reading it, or a newspaper, but books especially, because that's, I mean, storytelling and theatre and
You can travel the world through a book.
Correct, yeah. So as much as there is technology and all the apps, and it's all fine, but there's nothing better than just the thought of lying down somewhere on a chair, on a couch, and just opening a book and, you know, disappearing in our world.
Disappearing into that world.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I read on your post that I think is very powerful. You said you have glaucoma, but glaucoma doesn't have you. Expound that to someone at home who could be in a situation where they just feel so despondent and they have no hope. What would you tell them, and what did you mean in that phrase?
Yeah. I'm the kind of person who's a problem solver, right? So even like I was saying before, when I was a kid, I used to try to solve the problem of not having people realize that I'm visually impaired or I'm going blind. So in the same vein, I decided to have these little mantras, these little things, mechanisms that I would be encouraged by, so that I can then, like I said, pour into other people. So I came up with this, I have glaucoma, glaucoma does not have me, because I believe that when you name something, when you call it out, it loses its power over you. When you're scared, like I was scared to tell people that I was going blind, I was always, you know, like not sure of myself, ashamed, feeling beaten up and guilty, for nothing though, because it's not like I could help the eyesight. So when I started to say, like, yes, I am visually impaired, I am a VIP, a visually impaired person, I am this, I am that.
You take away the power and you have your power back.
Correct. So I have glaucoma, but glaucoma doesn't have me. So I tell people, just take out the word glaucoma, insert whatever it is. I have self-confidence issues. Self-confidence issues do not have me. Yeah, things like that. I have financial problems. Financial problems do not have me. And you keep saying that to yourself, and you'll find your mind shifting, your perspective shifting. 'Cause that's all it's about.
Now you wear many hats. Musician, you've done production, BBC, you work for a non-profit organization. Tell us about the many hats you wear and how you do it all.
I'm not sure how I do it all. I think it's definitely just...
And you live alone as well, right?
Yeah. I live in like a cute little SQ. I love it. Yeah, so I'm a musician. I am a programs manager at the Open Institute, where I run a program which advocates for people with disability and disability mainstreaming. I'm also a speaker. I walk around, you know, doing talks to whoever will listen. And I'm a content producer as well. I've got my channel online called Blind Girl Manenos, where I give in each episode tips and tricks about, you know, how I do things, the way I do them, because everyone is curious. Naturally, they're like, how do you live alone? How do you cook? How do you get dressed? Like, how do you go on stage? So I do that through my YouTube channel. And I also have a little TV show as well called The Ability Show, where I talk about all matters disability and how take out the dis and just focus on the ability. Because to be honest, all of us have disabilities if we think about it. Like, I'm not able to do all that you are, but same, you're not able to do all that I have. So, but the thing is, I don't call everyone disabled. So why do you have to call me disabled? It's just focusing on the ability.
What are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for losing my eyesight, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful, Crystal.
Yeah. I have learned a lot. I've matured so much more. When I think about where I was 10 years ago or plus and where I am now, I wouldn't have gotten here if it wasn't for the eyesight and losing it and the lessons that I learned through it and the people that, you know, disappeared from my life because of the eyesight loss. You know, God was sort of like, I feel he was filtered. He uses this as a filter. Yeah. To be like, you know, you don't need that person. That person will go when this happens. That opportunity will disappear. That those kinds of feelings will go. Those mindsets of yours will go away. So I was definitely strengthened to
the journey.
Yeah,
and
harness.
those that stay, whether it's a person, whether it's an opportunity, are meant to be in your path.
Correct. Yeah. Focus, like we were
You
talking
told me
about before.
we all have hard days or difficult days and difficult moments.
Yeah.
What does Crystal do?
I embrace them. I cry. I don't cry in front of everyone, but in my little space, I do sort of, let it out, because I've understood that it's okay to do that. Since losing my eyesight, I've cried many times, many years I've cried, and so I feel like I've helped myself to accept that it's okay to cry, so long as you don't just sit in that lull moment for a very long time. Release it, bless it, let it go, and then, you know, stand up and move on.
Learn the lesson and proceed.
Correct, yeah. So that's what I do, and also I feel like what takes me out of those moments as well is serving
Oh, really?
Yeah, being of service to somebody
being there
else.
for someone else.
Yeah, it helps you to sort of
That's
like get
actually
over.
scriptural. There's a verse that says that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's,
yeah, well.
there's a story that sort of like implies that, like when you're in that low moment, just going back and helping another blesses you in return.
It works. It works. It's like the pleasure of seeing someone else, you know, pleased. Like that's really powerful. So I tried my best to just wake up and be like, oh, how can I help you? When people message me online nowadays, I'm like, just how can I help? I don't want to ignore anyone or ignore anything that comes through. Yeah, things like that.
And speaking of being online and being a star in the making, First Lady of Soul Generation, how did that come to be? I mean, working under Kenya's biggest music group, Sauti Sol, how did that come to be?
So I met Bien over 12 years ago,
Okay.
before I went to uni or anything like that. I used to save up my lunch money from school.
To do it?
And then get the night bus when there's a long weekend, Easter break
Yeah.
or something like that, half term. Get the night bus, then come to Nairobi, stay with my cousins in Langata, and then just look for people.
Got it.
Basically, just look for anyone. I'll be like, hi, my name is Crystal. This is what I do. Here's my one song that I've ever sang or recorded. So I went through many people, met many producers, many artists and stuff. But then I found a way to stalk Sauti Sol, because that's when they were coming up and doing their thing. So I found Bien, and he invited me to where they were recording those days. And then I met all of them, the rest of them. And he was giving me sort of like his advice on what they're doing now, like what they've been learning, etc. By the time, obviously, they were working on themselves, so they were not really able to help me directly. So we kind of lost touch. I was going through my stuff with my eyesight in those 10 years ago, sort of, and they were going through their come up, basically. So
Then now the time just happened.
exactly,
Right.
yeah. And about like a year or two ago, someone told me that Bien is looking for songwriters, and so my name was given to him, and he didn't remember who I was.
You're kidding.
He didn't remember. And then
Gosh,
also,
Bien.
even when I saw them again, they
Yeah.
were just like, we didn't know that we'd met before. I think it's because of the eyesight as well, because they would have remembered, like, we had met a girl who's visually impaired 10 years ago. Yeah, so then and they were like, oh yeah, oh my
That's
goodness.
you?
I was like, yeah, dude, that's me.
Fantastic.
So yeah, this year I moved to Nairobi from Mombasa,
Officially.
officially.
Welcome to Nairobi.
Thanks.
And you're telling me there's a big difference. You're feeling a change.
I'm feeling a change.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
So I'm still have not like found my place specifically in like Nairobi yet. I feel that's also contributes to me staying at home a lot, because it's a different city, a different atmosphere.
It's fast-paced.
Correct, yeah, fast-paced, and I also feel like I haven't found people. People seem lost.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What do you
people
mean?
lost. Like everyone's always like, I'm hustling. Uko wapi? I'm just grinding. I'm grinding. Uko busy. Everyone's busy, and
What are you busy doing?
exactly, because it's not about
It's
like
so deep.
what are you busy
Gosh.
doing. So I believe that it's not about going wide, it's about going deep.
Yeah,
in
narrow in.
life. Exactly.
Focus, tunnel vision.
Exactly. So
So
perhaps
deep.
it's because of what I've gone through
I guess
that I'm
so.
in this place.
So you're
But
more enlightened and heightened, and like your antennas are awake.
Oh yeah, but I'm grateful for it. But then again, everyone has their own journey, so I don't judge or yeah.
So how's the dynamic in Soul Generation, being the only female? How's that experience like?
I wish you were there to see it.
Why?
I'm the only girl, so sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming because, yeah, I feel like I need to raise my voice more, stand on a table and scream. I don't know. But the guys, when I do speak up about, I feel like I need to be listened to more. Can you consider this because I'm a girl? If there's a gig, can we have another lady who can help me, change? And they're like, oh yeah, we do need a lady on set. Okay. Like things
Let's
like
do
that.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so small details, but I think the more we move along, the more they're learning as well. Okay. I learn from them, but then they're also learning from me about how to handle me as a visually impaired person, but also me as a woman, and things like that.
But the feedback has been amazing from that song, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good.
How has life changed for you since then?
A few people recognize me a bit more. Like I walk around the supermarket and guys are like, "Oh, you Crystal?" Nice. And I'm like, "Yeah." So that has changed as well. People just sharing with me more, opening up to me as well. I guess because of me being open with my story, it allows them to be open with theirs. Being on the show with Grace.
Nice one.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go on a break.
Boom.
Being on Unscripted with Crystal. Stay tuned. Unscripted with me, Grace and Crystal. Now, Crystal, like I said before, your fortitude and resilience for me and to me is commendable. It's beautiful. I'd love you to speak to anyone at home who may be disabled and they are discouraged, and I'd like you to encourage them. What would you tell them?
First of all, there's many in my community that unfortunately are going through the thing that I did at the beginning. But I would say that, like, I'm sitting here, and they're seeing me, and so this should be like a testimony in itself that if you just decide to put one foot in front of the other, not knowing what direction that you're going to go, that it'll be okay. Like, come out of your house, have people see you more, have people hear you more. And also, I think that it's important to do that because you never know who you're going to inspire by just being visible, just being there and just being yourself. You don't have to do anything specific or say anything specific or be, I don't know, having all these things going on in your life. Just be there, because then when you're there and you let yourself be used as a vessel, then things will happen that you don't understand. So I feel like when I wake up every morning, or even a good or a bad day, I think about that. I'm like, I don't know who it's going to inspire today specifically. So let me just get up, because there must be something, an assignment for me to fulfill today.
Back to that. Thank you for bringing that up again. What is Crystal's assignment?
I think my assignment is to help people understand that, like I said, you don't have to be in control. Walk by faith, not by sight. And just be okay with the process. Patience as well is I feel like that's one of my purposes, to show, like 12 years ago I met Sauti Soul, and it didn't seem like it was going to work out. Yeah. Yes. And consistency, like keep working at it. Don't give that thing up. Because if it's been planted in you, right? If it's been given to you, then you can't let it go, because when you let your light shine, it allows other people to let theirs shine as well. Yeah, it's like lighting a candle, passing it on, passing it on, passing it on, like this. And so, the talents parable kind of thing. Yes. Don't just bury.
Don't bury it.
Exactly.
Like you said, you do speaking engagements. You're very open with your journey online. What's been the one feedback that just wowed you from everything?
Goodness, there's a few when people. When people who have messaged me, direct messaged me and said things like, I saw your talk, or I saw what you spoke about in that interview, and it's helped me to not give up today. Yeah. Even if it's just today, like that one word today really gets me. I'm like, oh great, there's one more day that person wants to like keep pushing. Yeah. And that means a lot. It doesn't have to be for the rest of their lives or something, but just today. Yeah.
What does music mean to you?
Music, it means...
Oh, look how happy you got.
Music means...
That's a spark in your eyes, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It means expression, because I don't need my eyes to sing.
That's true.
Yeah, I have all that I need to sing. And music means expression. It means being able to create my own world, like I said. It means to be able to storytell, give that like good feeling to people, and be... a soundtrack to somebody else's life.
Somebody else's life. So yes. For you, what's the soundtrack of your life?
A song called As It Is by Hillsong. Can I sing it for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
How would I say no?
Whether now or then, death is not my end. I know heaven waits for me. And though the road seems long, I never walk alone. I got all I need to sing. I know you love me. I know you found me. I know you saved me, and your grace will never fail me. And while I'm waiting, I'm not waiting. I know heaven lives in me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I really love that song. It means beautiful. Everything to me, yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
What does faith mean to you?
Faith Faith means embracing a future and opportunities and dreams that you couldn't even have imagined for yourself. That's what faith means to me.
And having a spiritual, like having a relationship with God. To those at home, like how has this helped your journey?
God's my buddy.
Is
God
your buddy?
yeah, he's totally my
Because I
bud.
can feel that.
Yeah, it's not a transactional thing at all. It's definitely personal. It's definitely like, sometimes I just sit on my own in a restaurant. I'm like, hey, Jesus, what do you think I should order?
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, things like that. And it probably looks weird to other people, but hey.
Do you?
Just do me, yeah.
Do you? How is your social life? Friends, family, dating? How is it maneuvering?
How's it maneuvering?
Yeah. I'm curious.
My family are great. We're just like friends. My mom and I are literally like sisters. Or people go like, is that your aunt? And I'm like, no, it's my mom. Nice. So I love my family and they're very supportive and they have been always.
Okay.
That's obviously what's helped me as well get here.
Of course.
Support, people who back you.
Of course.
Really helps. And friends, I don't have like super many friends, but the ones that
it's like about quality.
I said, yeah, those who stuck around.
Yeah.
Through it are definitely like rocks.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a good support system.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
They also keep me grounded and they check me as well when I'm getting a little bit like, all right, Crystal, calm down.
Big head. Calm down.
Yeah.
Then I see you've ignored the last one. So should I ask it again or leave it alone? Shall I leave it?
Just like
let it slide.
Yeah.
I let it slide. Okay. Sorry, guys. I tried.
You're doing your job. Okay. No. Dating. Yeah. I date. Go on dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm a catch. So,
I think so. I think so.
I don't.
You still have a lot of life in you, which is amazing, I think.
I think that it's just the same for me. It's not. People might think it's like, oh, well, yeah. Well, if someone sees me with someone, they'll be like, oh, that man he's such a good man. Like, look at her, look at him with her.
Yeah.
That's sort of like sometimes that's the narrative. Like, oh, he saved her or something. But it's like, no, actually. It's me who's doing him a favor.
It's you doing him a favor.
Yeah.
Remember that, girls, regardless of his situation, right?
Yeah.
Now there's another song request in the house that people really love to hear here in this room and at home. The Extravaganza song with the rest of the boys. Apparently your part is amazing, and I agree. It's the very best. So could you sing that again as we close?
Yeah,
before we share our last words?
Aye, rumba imetamba, sauti soli na dieri ya kumechacha. Karibuni kwenye extravaganza na Kristo alipofika alifunika. Wakaja na umati, wakageuka kuwa wafuasi. Wakaja na majini, wakapata tushazama kwa dini. Ngele za kifarasi, lakini sini moto ya makasi. Risasi mwendo kasi, dandiani msiwachwe na basi. Inadi area kumechacha. Karibuni kwenye extravaganza. Unscripted alipofika walifunika.
I love it. Your voice is everything, and I can really hear the Swahili influence. You did grow up in Mombasa.
Yes.
And I hear that part. So what next from Crystal? What's in store?
Music. I'm going to release singles.
Good.
Yeah, the boys have had a head start.
Yes, we've seen.
When nikija nakuja na moto.
Aha.
So that's coming up. Music and music videos. I'm in studio. I'm recording and stuff. Yeah, and also more talks, more Blind Girl Manenos episodes on my channel. So yeah, people should just like hang in there and it'll be good. It'll be worth the wait.
Is music also a cathartic process for you in this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Takes me back to all sorts of things, all sorts of emotions.
Exactly.
And also inspires me for, what could happen in the future. Because music as well, it's not just about what you've experienced, but maybe what you want to experience.
There you go.
Yeah,
you can aspire through your music.
Correct, yeah.
And your voice is everything.
Thank you.
Keep singing. Never stop.
Thank you.
Ever. Last words for your fans at home?
Last words for now.
For now.
Yeah. Last words for now would be trust the process, be patient, focus on the macro, not the micro, and do it for somebody else, not for yourself, because it'll be way more fulfilling.
That's so true. Thank you. So much to learn from you. Thank you for the nuggets of wisdom.
Thank you too.
Thank you for your energy in filling this room. Yeah, never lose it. You're amazing.
Thanks. I also want to say thank you to you. You've been an absolute inspiration to so many of us young ladies for years.
Gosh.
And
Can
we're
you stop
really,
rolling? Cut.
we're really loving and enjoying like seeing you back and just
so
just
sweet
doing
of you.
that thing for all of us. It's really good. So I also appreciate the work that you're doing and the energy you're putting into the world.
Oh, God's grace.
Yeah.
As we do our thing. Yes. Women supporting women. Thank you so much for watching this show. Please reach us. Our contact details are right below. Follow Crystal. Listen to her music. There's more coming. Keep watching us and we'll see you again next week. Good night and God bless.